Did you know your carry-on that flew last year might get you stopped in 2025? And things may get even stricter in 2026. Airlines are quietly shrinking overhead bins, power banks are being confiscated, and reusable bottles are suddenly under suspension. Rule number 2 is already so tight that even flight attendants warn their own families about it. But hang on. Whispers in the industry suggest 2026 could bring even bigger changes. From looser, liquid rules to biometric checkpoints and carry-on mandates across all airlines. Stay with me. I'll walk you through the 10 new 2025 rules and what might be coming next. In 2025, one of the most surprising carry-on changes isn't coming from TSA checkpoints. It's coming from the airlines themselves. Travelers are showing up with bags that fit the official carry-on dimensions perfectly, only to find out they don't fit in the overhead bins anymore. Why? Because airlines have quietly been shrinking bin space on new planes, especially budget carriers and regional jets. Here's the kicker. The official carry-on size, 22 by 14 by 9 inches in the US, hasn't actually changed on paper. What has changed is the aircraft design. New models are being fitted with slimmer bins to maximize seating capacity. Some low-cost airlines are even using custom bins that are shorter, meaning that the suitcase you bought specifically to be carry-on approved might suddenly be too tall to slide in. The trap is expensive. If your bag doesn't fit at the gate, you'll be forced to check it. And those last-minute fees can sting. We're talking $40 to $80 at the counter, sometimes more than the flight itself. And here's the detail most travelers don't realize. Weight limits are being enforced too. Several Asian and European carriers are already requiring bags under 7 kilograms, about 15 pounds. That laptop, charger, camera, and a couple of outfits? That's already enough to push you over the edge. Even worse, these policies are inconsistent. A carry-on that passes on your first flight could get flagged on your connection. Imagine flying from Los Angeles to New York on a US carrier and then connecting to a European budget airline. The same bag could be accepted on the first leg and rejected on the second. That's happening right now in 2025, and it's catching travelers completely off guard. So what's the smart move? Soft shell luggage is your best friend. Unlike hard shell bags, soft-sided ones have just enough give to squeeze into smaller bins. Packing light is more important than ever. And always check the specific airline's carry-on policies before you trip. Don't assume the standard size applies everywhere, because in 2025, it no longer does. And here's where it gets interesting. In 2026, these rules might not just be airline-specific anymore. There are talks in the EU about creating a universal rule that guarantees at least one free carry-on bag for every passenger, even on low-cost airlines. That's partly a response to public frustration, since passengers feel nickel and dimed at every turn. If it passes, it could force budget airlines to allow at least one cabin bag without hidden fees. But, and this is the twist, while Europe might move toward protecting travelers, US carriers are leaning the other way. They're quietly investing in slimmer aircraft designs that prioritize more seats over storage space. Translation? In America, the bin squeeze could get even worse. Industry insiders also predict a new push for carry-on weight checks in US airports by late 2026, something that's already standard in Asia. Right now, you almost never get weighed at the gate in the States. But as more airlines adopt global policies and more airports install automated bag scanners, expect that to change. If you're used to stuffing your carry-on until the zipper bursts, those days may be numbered. So while the official size chart hasn't changed, the reality in 2025 is that bins are smaller, rules are stricter, and mistakes are more expensive than ever. And if the 2026 rumors prove true, this game of carry-on roulette could either get better in Europe or far worse, especially in the US. The bottom line? Pack light, stay flexible, and never assume the bag that worked last year will still pass next year. Power banks have become travel lifelines. In 2025, almost everyone carries one. Whether it's to keep a phone alive during a long layover, power up a laptop on the go, or recharge wireless earbuds before boarding. But here's the problem. Many travelers are losing their expensive power banks at security. The rule is simple but strict. Anything above 100 watt-hours, or about 27,000 milliamp hours, is banned. Even going just a little over the limit can get your device confiscated. And don't think TSA won't notice. Agents are trained to check the labels. If the label is missing, rubbed off, or unclear, that alone can be enough for them to take it away. Every single day, travelers are forced to hand over $100 plus high-capacity batteries they thought were perfectly fine. The rule applies worldwide. So even if you pass through security at one airport, your device could still be flagged at a connecting stop. The 2026 outlook? This one's complicated. On one hand, airports are beginning to invest in smarter scanning systems that can better identify and evaluate battery safety without relying solely on the label. That means in the future, a faded sticker might not automatically doom your device. But on the other hand, there's talk of tightening the watt-hour limit even further, down to 80 watt-hours, to standardize global policy and reduce risk after a string of mid-air fire scares. If that happens, even medium-sized power banks could suddenly be banned. The lesson for 2025 travelers is clear. Stick to a safe size, under 20,000 milliamp hours if possible, and make sure your device has a visible label. By 2026, the rules might evolve. But until then, play it safe. Losing your power bank at security is more than just an inconvenience. It could mean landing in a new city with no way to charge your phone. For years, travelers have been told, bring a reusable bottle, save money, and stay hydrated. But in 2025, what looks like a harmless stainless steel bottle could actually get you stopped. TSA agents are flagging bulky, double-walled bottles that can't be X-rayed clearly. Why? Because some of them have been used to smuggle liquids, alcohol, or other restricted substances. Travelers have been stunned to watch agents confiscate empty bottles. Yes, empty. If a container looks suspicious or opaque, it can earn you a secondary inspection. And in some cases, people have had to surrender expensive bottles worth $40 or more. So what's the safe bet? Stick with clear collapsible silicone bottles. These pass through security quickly and are easier for staff to inspect. If you must bring a metal bottle, choose a well-known brand with a familiar design. And here's a small but effective trick. Open the lid as you go through security. It shows TSA the bottle is empty and can sometimes save you from extra checks. Looking ahead to 2026, there's good news. With new 3D CT scanners being rolled out, TSA may no longer need to flag as many bottles. These advanced machines can produce detailed images, meaning fewer false alarms. That said, until the technology is universal, and it won't be everywhere until at least late 2026, bulky bottles remain a red flag. So for now, play it smart. Keep it clear. Keep it collapsible. And don't let a simple water bottle turn into a stressful delay. High-tech luggage seemed like the future. Suitcases with built-in chargers, tracking devices, and even motorized wheels were marketed as the next big thing. But in 2025, they've become one of the biggest sources of traveler frustration. The problem? Non-removable lithium batteries. Airlines and TSA have banned them completely, whether in carry-ons or checked bags. The reason is safety. If a lithium battery catches fire mid-air, crews need to access and remove it immediately. If it's built into the frame of your bag, that's impossible. Travelers are being stopped at the gate and told to either check their bag without the battery, which often isn't possible, or leave it behind entirely. Imagine dropping $300 on a sleek new suitcase only to abandon it at the airport. That's happening right now. By 2026, the ban isn't expected to loosen. In fact, regulators are considering expanding it to cover other non-removable electronics, like certain smart backpacks and even e-scooters that people try to check in. At the same time, some companies are working on modular smart luggage designs with clip-in, airline-approved batteries. If these take off, travelers might finally get the convenience of smart bags without the security hassle. Until then, the rule is simple. If the battery doesn't come out easily, your bag doesn't fly. Here's a surprise. August 2025 has become one of the cheapest times to fly. Historically, it was one of the busiest, most expensive months. But shifting school calendars and new travel patterns have created an unexpected, sweet spot in the last 2 weeks of August. Airlines are dropping fares to fill empty seats. Some flights are as much as 15% cheaper than those in July or even September. But there's a catch. This deal window is short. If you wait too long, fares spike again for Labor Day weekend. Travel hackers know the trick. Book in June or July, look for Tuesday and Wednesday departures, and consider secondary airports for even better deals. But beware. Cheap tickets often come with strict baggage rules, so you'll want to factor in carry-on limits when comparing fares. Looking at 2026, here's where it gets interesting. With biometric boarding and automated pricing systems being rolled out, airlines may start personalizing fare offers, meaning your cheap August ticket might not be the same price your neighbor gets. That could end the universal deal window and replace it with targeted discounts based on your browsing and booking habits. So yes, August 2025 is a golden chance. But in 2026, cheap season might become less predictable and more tailored to the data airlines collect about you. In 2025, it's not just what you pack, but how you pack it that matters. TSA scanners are sharper than ever, and they're flagging bags that look too dense or cluttered. If your clothes, snacks, and electronics are stacked in one tight block, the X-ray can't see through clearly. That's when your bag gets pulled for a full manual inspection. Suddenly, you're unpacking socks and chargers in front of a line of impatient travelers. The fix? Organization. Packing cubes help separate items. Laptops and tablets should be placed on top, and liquids should go in clear pouches at the front. TSA officers actually appreciate tidy bags. It makes their job easier and gets you through faster. In 2026, this will become even more relevant. With the expansion of AI-assisted scanning, systems won't just look at what's in your bag. They'll analyze patterns. That means unusual layouts, hidden compartments, or dense packing styles could trigger automatic alerts, even before a human agent checks the screen. In other words, messy packing is only going to get riskier. If you want to avoid delays in both 2025 and 2026, pack for clarity, not just for space. For years, travelers have tried to game the system. A backpack plus a tote plus a shopping bag plus a laptop sleeve. In 2025, that trick is officially dead. Airlines and TSA are cracking down hard, enforcing the one carry-on plus one personal item rule with new tech. Gate agents now use handheld scanners and, in some airports, AI-powered cameras to monitor bag sizes and detect when passengers are carrying too many items. Even if your bags are small, you may be asked to combine them or pay an expensive last-minute fee. By 2026, this is expected to become standard worldwide. as automated bag-counting tech spreads to more airports. But here's the twist. European regulators may require airlines to allow one guaranteed free carry-on for all passengers. If that passes, travelers in the EU could actually gain more freedom while Americans face stricter enforcement. The takeaway? In 2025, appearances matter. Use a tote that fits inside your backpack or a foldable bag you can collapse after security. If you look like you're following the rules, you'll breeze through. If not, expect a fight at the gate. It's 2025, and travelers are still losing time and expensive products over the same old rule: 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters per container. All in a clear quart-sized bag. Shampoo, toothpaste, face wash, even peanut butter count as liquids. People still try to sneak in full-size bottles, hoping TSA won't notice. But agents notice. And if your container is even slightly oversized, it's going in the trash. The smart move is to use travel-sized containers, refillable silicone bottles, and a clear pouch that's easy to pull out. Place it at the top of your bag for quick access. Here's where 2026 could bring big change. Homeland Security has signaled that the liquid rule itself might finally be revised. With new CT scanners capable of analyzing liquids without removing them, the 3.4-ounce limit may be relaxed, at least in major airports. If that happens, it would be the biggest shift in carry-on rules in 2 decades. Until then, don't gamble. The 3-1-1 rule is still in force everywhere. Play it safe and save your full-size bottles for checked luggage. In 2025, TSA isn't just watching your bag. They're watching how you act at security. Forgetting to remove laptops, tablets, or gaming consoles is now a major red flag. These devices block scanners, creating dense spots agents can't see through. If you leave them in your bag, expect a full search. To avoid this, pack all electronics together in a single pouch or sleeve. When it's your turn, pull it out in one motion and place it in a bin. TSA calls these travelers prepped passengers, and they're rewarded with faster screenings. By 2026, though, this rule may loosen. With more airports adopting 3D CT scanners, electronics won't always need to be removed. That's the future, but it's not here yet. And until it is, forgetting to take out your laptop is one of the fastest ways to delay yourself and everyone behind you. So in 2025, prep your tech. In 2026, you may not have to, but don't count on it being universal. And now, the most overlooked but most dangerous mistake travelers make in 2025. Packing lithium batteries the wrong way. Loose, unlabeled, or damaged batteries can be confiscated on the spot. These little power sources, in cameras, vapes, tools, or toys, are banned from checked luggage and tightly regulated in carry-ons. The reason is serious. Lithium batteries are a leading cause of in-flight fires. If TSA finds a battery that's swollen, unprotected, or without a visible watt-hour label, they can remove it immediately. In some cases, they've flagged entire bags because of one overlooked battery. Travelers have missed flights over this simple mistake. The safe method: keep all batteries in a protective case, only in your carry-on, never floating loose in a pouch. Labels should be clear and intact, and never ever travel with a damaged battery. Looking to 2026, experts expect even stricter rules. There's discussion of requiring all lithium batteries to be pre-registered with airlines for international flights. That means you may need to declare your camera batteries, drone packs, or spare cells ahead of time. If implemented, it would mark a major shift in how we travel with electronics. Until then, the rule is simple. Treat every battery as a potential red flag. Pack them carefully, label them clearly, and don't take chances.